Lakers no less. And the Mavs had a video tribute that had Luka and all of us in tears. But it would be him who would get the last laugh as he put up a 45-point masterpiece in LA's win. So those are 45 points from Luka, third most in a player's first road game against his former team in NBA history. He becomes the second player in NBA history to have a 45-point game for and against the same team, joining Wilt Chamberlain, for and against the 76ers. Not bad company to be a part of, and not bad company for us to be a part of right here on First Take. The NBA crew back with us. Monica, starting with you here, let's talk about the Lakers and the implications of what last night means, because that secured their spot in the postseason. What is your confidence level in LA going into the playoffs?
Well, I believe coming into today, you guys, they're like a 96% chance to actually lock up that third seed, which to me is a game changer. You accomplish a couple of things by holding on to that seed. Home court, obviously, you avoid Oklahoma City Thunder until potentially the conference finals if you can get there. And so I think when you look at the matchups, this year's matchups and seedings matter, I don't know, as much as they ever have. And so I think the Lakers are exactly where they would want to be as this thing is coming down the stretch. Now, I think for me, the concern that I have is obviously it's going to be a lot on LeBron James, but he continues to defy time. They still, to me, have a little bit of a size thing that you're concerned about, and I just wonder about the nature of the series, of a series in terms of the style that they're going to have to play. But as far as handling their business to lock up the best position seeding-wise, they've done that. And so do I think that LeBron James has enough in the tank to carry this team to a championship run? I still think Oklahoma City is legitimately the best team in the Western Conference, and I don't think anything about their regular season is limited to the regular season. But if you told me that a LeBron James-led team with Luka Dončić upset them in the conference finals, would I be shocked? No.
Yeah, I'm with Monica here on the fact that this is about matchups and volatility in the West. This thing right now, the way the standings are breaking right for the Lakers and the way these matchups look like. If I'm the Lakers and I'm picking two teams I want to play in the first round, I would say first I would want to play Memphis, who's already right there in the sixth. Then I would probably want to play the Rockets, who are lacking experience, who are lacking people who can close that game. That's your first two rounds right now. Then OKC, anything is possible when you have Luka. We just saw them blow them out, and then they were up and tied with that team pretty much till Luka got ejected. So that is where this thing breaks right. On the other side, that Golden State Warriors team, if they're in that 6th seed and you're a 3-season Laker, I'm not sure if I'm picking the Lakers over Golden State. I'm not sure if I'm picking the Lakers over the Clippers. And then if you have Jokic out there, anything he can do anything against that Lakers team, as we've seen. So this is all matchup dependent. This team can go all the way to the finals, or they can get bounced early in the first round, depending on really something that is out of their control. It's about how that 4 through that 8 falls and those other teams play against each other for the next 4 days.
Courtney, I'll bet if you were in the Laker locker room last night and not with a microphone, and you were asking them their confidence after they saw how last night went, their confidence would be pretty high, because they can see the standings just like David was talking about. And you know they don't fear the Thunder or the Rockets because they're young teams who haven't done it. Like, that's not really an insult. I'm just telling you probably how they feel. Although, I have been extremely impressed with the Rockets since the All-Star break. And I would, I do not want anybody to dismiss them. I am actually very interested to see how tomorrow night goes, because the Rockets are here in LA. They sort of punted on last night's game against the Clippers, which the Clippers were very appreciative of. Thank you very much. I would suspect that they're going to play their full team tomorrow. Ime Udoka does not mess around, and see how they play against the Lakers. The Lakers need the win to secure that 3 seed. You're right, they're in good shape for it, but they could secure the 3 seed. They were just here in LA like 10 days ago, and the Lakers beat them. And they used a game plan that really attacked Alperen Şengün. So I think tomorrow is sort of a low-key, very interesting game, assuming the Rockets are going to play everybody. Now, when you look at the Lakers' chances, when I talk to scouts, here's what they say about the Lakers. There's 2 things that they say about them that I think are most relevant. Number one, J.J. Redick has used playoff game plans down the stretch of the season to get things done defensively. What I mean by that is, like last night, for example, they had a problem last night. The Mavericks are huge, and Anthony Davis is in the center. And how are they going to guard Anthony Davis when they're really only playing Jackson Hayes as a part-time center, and then you're playing like Luka Dončić and LeBron and Dorian Finney-Smith and Rui Hachimura at center. So what they did last night was they double-teamed the heck out of Anthony Davis and they ignored other people on the court. That's sort of situational matchup game plans that you would prepare against playoff opponents. JJ has done this throughout since the Luka trade, and they've had some success with it. Part of the reason that they've had great defensive success at times this year is through sort of these unconventional game plans. And so the scouts are saying we've kind of seen how JJ's amount. Now maybe JJ's got some secret stuff up his sleeve, but the teams are going to be a little bit more prepared to see how the Lakers are going to play defensively. The second thing is, when I talk to scouts, they talk about how they think Luka and LeBron are vulnerable defensively in individual matchups. And they think that they will attack them more than they have in the regular season.
Sure.
So while I look at the Lakers, and I agree, I think their pathway is shaping up, and I look at Luka and LeBron, I think that the Lakers really are going to face a bit more of a challenge situationally than maybe they've seen so far.
Okay, let's get back to last night's game, because I know that we've all covered returns when one player goes from one place. Maybe it's where he or she began their career and then they go somewhere else. Doncic's return to Dallas was really emotional. On a huge night for him, 45 points on 28 shots, and the Lakers win, so that it secures them their spot in the playoffs. It made us think, like, his teammate, LeBron James, went through this in 2010. Windy, I know you were there when he went back to Cleveland for the first time after taking his talents to the Heat. LeBron's return to Cleveland also came with a big performance, like Luka. James had 38 points to beat the Cavaliers by 28 when he was with the Heat. Luka, 7 of 10 from the three-point line in his first game in Dallas since being traded. A lot of his damage he did in the first half. So, Windy, starting with you, which was the more memorable return, Luka in Dallas or LeBron in Cleveland?
It's tough to ask me that because it was one of the most memorable nights of my NBA career. Not that I played in the NBA, covering the NBA career. What defined that night to me, by the way, LeBron scored those 38 points in 3 quarters. He sat the fourth. In this scoring economy, that's like 38 in 2010 is like 48 today, but especially in 3 quarters. In the third quarter of this game, by the way, he went 10 of 12 and scored 24 points in absolutely breaking. That's what he was doing. That was definitely from the third quarter because he was breaking the hearts of the Cavs in that night. What defined that was what happened afterwards, because what happened there was the Heat ended up winning 21 of 22 games. They were just 11-8 at that moment, and that solidified them as a team. That was the night LeBron became a Heat. They went 22-1 after that. The Cavs went on like a 25, 26 game losing streak. It was like game 2 or 3 of that. The Cavs were totally broken as an organization. The Heat were totally uplifted as an organization. So it was one of the more defining regular season games that I've seen in my career. So when I look at how this will be remembered, like obviously the Luka lip quivering is going to be an iconic moment. We're going to remember that for years. Like the memory of last night will probably, the visual memory, you probably don't even remember any visual moments from that LeBron game other than like him hitting mid-range jumpers. You'll remember that forever. But to me, what will define it is what happens now, because I do suspect the Lakers grew a lot as a team last night, and this could propel them into something more special.
To me, it's got to be Luka and last night. Like as memorable as that LeBron game was, we've sort of seen this in the league before. We've seen these superstars leave, and we've seen the fans go crazy on them, and we've seen them be the villains. We saw with KD and OKC. We've seen these things happen before. We've never seen anything like what we saw with Luka Dončić, where you have a superstar, beloved local celebrity in his prime, moving in the trade deadline, crying, the audience cheering for him every time he touched the ball, everybody in unison screaming at the general manager because they love this dude so much. Like, this is not something that we have seen before in the NBA. Add on this other factor is the fact that when LeBron left Cleveland, everybody knew Cleveland stunk after that. Everybody knew that was a bad team. There was no debate on if Cleveland would be better off without him. When Luka left Dallas and you brought Anthony Davis there are people that were saying that the Dallas Mavericks are better off with Luka Dončić. There are people within the Dallas Mavericks, Nico Harrison, acting as if they were better off without Luka, acting as if that he had deficiencies. He couldn't play defense. He was lazy. They were saying all these things about him when they got rid of him. And there were talks when that happened of which team can win a championship first. Luka shut the door on that.
Hôm nay mình sẽ hướng dẫn các bạn cách làm một sợi dây treo trang trí